and gentlemen, I'm sorry it's gonna sound like shit for a couple minutes. I gotta put my microphone in the right place. There we go. Sorry about that. I promise you're pretty sure it sounds like shit. Oh. Is this good? I know it sounds so bad. I'm sorry. Hopefully that's good. Oh, my back. So, ladies and gentlemen, this should probably be a stream I should have called off. Just to tell you ahead of time. Oh, okay. Oh, hello from Twitch, says Lone. Where is it? Video. Is everything working? Hopefully it's working good. Oh my god, dude. Guys, I do not know how long this stream will be. It might be literally 30 minutes. I have not gotten sick in probably 4 years. And I hit a fucking wall yesterday. Although I was being dumb. I knew I wasn't feeling 100%, and I ended up doing VR and I worked out, which is just a lot of like, it just fucking breaks you down. Anyways, I didn't get any sleep last night, man. You know, you don't even, you never realize how long nighttime is until you can't sleep for 9 hours. You know what I mean? And you're sitting there, hour 1 goes by and you're sitting there, hour 2 goes by and you're sitting there, 4 hours, 7 hours, and you're still sitting there and you're like, fucking god, this just won't end. I can't go to sleep. I just can't. Man. Anyways, hi guys, hi Lone, hi Fluff. I don't know how long this will be. My head's already starting to get a little funky. Anyways, TLDR is that your boy's sick. Your boy is sick, and not like light sick. Like, I could sit in bed all day and just sleep, kind of sick. So yeah, I don't really, yeah. But I'm about to happy to hang out with you guys. I'll try not to exert too much. I'll try to just chill, basically, and not move. My symptoms, dude, I had like violent as hell shivering, like just cold as hell, violent shaking in the middle of the night. My temperature kept going all over the place. I was boiling last night, so then I was cold, so then you put on covers, and I know when you're not feeling well and my heart rate starts racing, I know that it's not like you're actually cold. It's no, your body's fighting something. So I try not to put on too much blankets so you're not overheating yourself. But then you go to sleep, and then your body's basically fighting something. Your heart rate's like locked at 100 essentially when you're sleeping or trying to sleep. Then you come to and you're like, oh my god, I'm roasting now. And then your body's now you're gonna get too cold. It's a whole thing. Anyways, how's y'all's week been? I know we talked a little bit last couple of days, but I feel dumb. I feel like I don't have much thoughts going on in my brain. What is good, Lone? What is good, Fluff? Hopefully y'all been taking care of yourself in the time we've been away, specifically Fluff as well, because I haven't seen Fluff in a little bit. But yeah, hopefully everything is good. Yeah, Lone says, what's up, Grin? My friend, what's good, Lone? Hopefully you're taking care of yourself in the hours we've been apart. Oh. Lone says, dang, Grin, I hope you feel, thanks, Lone, I appreciate it. I feel like this might have been one of them days where I tried to, we could have been like on Discord, been like, hey guys, we're not streaming. But I had some stuff I want to talk to y'all about, but now I can't think of anything. One of them was this game. Goddamn Red, man. I feel like Red is probably in a coma playing this game. I bet his sleep schedule is just fucked. But it looks pretty cool. This looks like a big ass open world game where like you can just chill, hang out, farm. Looks mad cute. I will say it is weird that like there are adults in this world. Like in the Sandrock game, you do see like a big ass black man, and he's an adult. He's clearly a grown ass man. You see also like another version of him essentially, and yet you can't. You're a perma child basically, but yet you can get married. It's a little odd, but anyways, it looks wholesome. It looks cute. I wish you could be a full grown man instead of a boy, but you know, is what it is. It's basically just like it's a really cool game. It looks like it has like base building mechanics. Seems like it's the best of a lot of different types of games, which is cool. I've heard nothing but good things, but I think it's also a deep cut for people who like this type of game. You should be resting if you don't feel well. I rested a lot this morning. I didn't do my breathing or anything. Instead, I just read manhwa slowly. They weren't great either. I hate that that's our relationship now. I'm always like, hey, I've read manhwa. They're okay. It's true though. It's not. I haven't, like, every now and again I get one that's like, that's fucking fire, and then you get another one that's like, it's an interesting concept. Basically, the modern day dungeons appear on Earth, leveling up experience, all that stuff happens. The main character gets a unique skill called teleportation in dungeons, or dungeon teleporting is what it's called, allowing him to circumnavigate like the cooldown of each dungeon just to jump in. So then he becomes like high level. He levels up a lot, and it's kind of neat. But there's certain things where like I'm starting to get beaten over the head, and I usually love tropes, dude. I love tropes, like little hugs, like, oh, there it is, cute. But in every one of these shows, it's like inadvertent harem always, but it's so goddamn consistent that it's just crazy to me. I normally don't hate that kind of thing, but it's just the fact that it's always the same, like bang, bang, bang. And also the guy is just an idiot. I guess the one thing I also peeved about with the whole manhwa and like just storytelling in general within that medium, every character is like giga dumb, like, or just ignorant, I guess. Not ignorant. What's the right way to phrase it? Goddamn doesn't know what's happening. Basically, he's just like, okay, yeah, I have 3 women who seemingly are into me, but I don't get it, and it's just exhausting. You know what I mean? Granted, I have seen the alternative, where a dude just keeps laying down pipe, and it's awful. It's also awful. He's just like having a 4-way essentially constantly, and it's not very good either. But anyways, I digress. Wiggle says, face cam, let's make Grin emotional. Don't make me emotional. I'm also tired. I'm sick, by the way, Wiggly. Also, good to see you, Wiggly. Good to see you, Fluff. I'm hella tired, so if I do get emotional, it'll all be because I'm sick, and I'm falling apart at the seams. But yes, Fluff says, heyo, almost finished with the first Spider-Man DLC. Ooh, I didn't even know there was a DLC for the Spider-Man game. Okay, I want to ask you guys this real quick. I was thinking about this the other day. If you theoretically were like completely taken care of financially, etc., and where you could literally just enjoy video games as they are. I'm not sure if that pretext is really needed, but the point is what is like an actual 10 out of 10 game? Now, yes, there's subjective aspects to, like, for me, 10 out of 10 is like Fable. I fucking love Fable. It'll always be like a 10 out of 10 game. But I mean like by impact and the uniqueness of what it achieved. For instance, almost like in the last 20 years, what has been the game that has created such an impact, or has been so unique or shaped or something like that? Basically the Hall of Fame of 10 out of 10s, because a lot of the years we have like 10 out of 10 games or Game of the Years, but it's also just because sometimes there's not a lot of like competing games coming out, right? So what I wanted to ask you guys is, what is like the Hall of Fame 10 out of 10 games? One that came to mind, this gave you guys kind of an understanding of like what I'm trying to, what this list to me would encompass. Minecraft, I think, should be on there. That's what I mean. Kind of like this massive impact. I think arguably GTA with its online mode and the base game could be on there as like these massive hallmark games. Part of me wants to say Fable 2 should be on that list too, but I feel like it's fairer to say Fable 1, because Fable 1, basically I'm looking at games that were genuinely unique at the time, and like did something specifically brilliant. Yeah, like Fable with its whole morality system, with its like your body changes mentoring. Like these are weird things that not a lot of games really did at the time, that really shaped hard as fuck the world of the like gaming in general. Like I think Minecraft should be up there because it's just it had such a massive impact, and it's still such a unique game. Not a lot of things are close to that. Yeah, and if it is, it's like a kind of like a weird fucking tile layout kind of builder sim, which is yeah. Also, Fluff says, we'll likely need to wrap them up after work tonight before I finally start Miles Morales. Ooh! Apparently, man, I hear people, almost everyone who played the original Spider-Man liked it, but Miles Morales, like, nailed it. So I would be mad excited for Miles Morales. Also, I think I like Miles Morales a little more than Peter Parker. Miles Morales seems more of like a flawed individual who's more hopeful, I guess, whereas Peter Parker seems like almost like an unattainable, almost like Deadpool, you know, where he's just kind of goofy, he's playful, he's confident, he's cheery. He just seems like a non-existent human being. You know what I mean? I don't know. Wiggles says, I love that you try so hard for us. Please don't. So thank you, Wiggles. I will do my best. Although today was probably the time where I should have thrown in the towel, at least where the stream goes, because yes, I am fucking spent. I even just had a sip of coffee, if not a giant gulp, and I feel like I am still just as tired as when I had it. My eyes are glazed over really bad, like they're dry. My mouth is dry. It's rough, but we're here. Lone says, so Fortnite would be on that list. Arguably, yeah. I think regardless, Fortnite would be on that list. I think, I don't know, maybe people could argue the original PUBG could be on that list too. Maybe, because it's kind of like this thing that's, I don't know, I still feel like Fortnite did so many other things. Like PUBG was, yes, it's this new innovative. It's this new game mode that's really neat. 100 players, and that's pretty innovative. It's a lot of server demand. 100 players in one lobby fighting over shit, right? That seems like it makes sense. But Fortnite also had like building mechanics. It had like a crazy art style. It had big ass maps. It had changing maps. It constantly update. I feel like Fortnite should definitely be on that list. Even Save the World was hella unique for the time. I don't know if it should be on the list though. Save the World. It's not something we haven't seen. Yeah. I want to say Skyrim, but I think I just might be a simp for Skyrim. But I don't think Skyrim was that crazy. Maybe more Oblivion. Yeah, I would say Oblivion was more of like the thing where it really started. It gave you like crazy spells. It gave you so much shit. It didn't hold back. Skyrim was amazing. I love Skyrim, but I feel like Oblivion was the thing that's where all of the changes and like booms happened. Like the only thing that really Skyrim had that Oblivion didn't was like a level up system based around what you used essentially. Yeah. Fluff says, I mean, if we're talking about games that haven't shaped the future of the industry, Dark Souls should also be in there. I agree with Dark Souls. Minecraft, Vampire Survivor. Yeah, Vampire Survivor. I'm not as in depth. Like, I do think there has to be like a escape velocity. Like, it can't just be hella unique. It has to introduce new, innovative and brilliant. Innovative is the wrong word. New, unseen mechanics or systems. As well as being successful, because there's a lot of games that like do a lot of weird shit, but they're not really ever like, they don't really hit the mark, they don't resonate with an audience, which I don't think really counts. But yeah, WoW probably, Breath of the Wild, yeah, I don't know, that's a tough one for me. I do think Breath of the Wild is a brilliant game, like it should absolutely be touted as one of the better games, but I'm not sure it has that like bleeding edge. The climbing we've seen in other games. No, maybe not. Maybe the climbing was new. So we have climbing that was pretty new. Combat system, the degradation of abilities didn't seem crazy. The big ass open worlds. Like I'm not saying like this is not like Breath of the Wild is weird to me because I think it's a brilliant game. Why is that guy named Logan? Why is there a wanted sign named Logan? Those guys do not know my real name is Logan. But yeah, I do think Dark Souls should be on there for sure. That was a massive hit. Although, is it Dark Souls or is it... Yeah, probably Dark Souls. I kind of want to say Dark Souls like 2 or something, because Dark Souls... The base game of Dark Souls... no, Dark Souls is unique. That's tough. Because a part of me, I feel like I'd rather put Bloodborne rather than Dark Souls, but you can't not give credit to Dark Souls. It's tough. Oh. Lone says Fluff says games that have spawned continuous clones and alikes. Yeah. I guess that's true, but I also feel like the reason why I think Fable should be there is because Fable didn't necessarily spawn a bunch of similar type of games, but it still did so many crazy things. Like it said and also it was massively successful. So it's like I guess that's the criteria. Is it has to do like a bunch of brilliant things, have a bunch of mechanics that we haven't necessarily seen before, like the good and evil, the body mutation, all that stuff. Even though I really want to put Fable 2 on there, I don't feel like it's fair. I feel like Fable 1 was where it did all the massive changes, and then 2 just improved upon everything. Doom, I also think could be there. And well, there's the classic Doom and yeah. Miles Morales promised to deliver a better gameplay, but the story and the villains are lacking. Granted, the sequel puts both to shame for the yeah, I was about to say, everyone's been talking about like how great this sequel is. It's crazy. Wiggle says, "You look great." I'm not looking great. Too bad I didn't swing. Well, thank you, Wiggles. I appreciate the sentiment. But I look like shit. Shit today. Yeah, it's better I had time to shave. So yes, it's funny because we do VR so consistently now. I only like trim my beard and my gross stubble when we're streaming because I don't want to look like garbage for you guys. So yeah, I used to do it like every day because I stream we stream a lot, but now we stream with Facecam, I should say. Oh, my body's spiking in the heat again. Oh no. But yeah, now I just do it whenever, and it's only once a week. So now I just look like a gross bastard most days. Anyway, I can only imagine Baldur's Gate. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, I don't think CD Projekt. Ooh, that's tough. I don't know if Witcher should be on there. I think maybe. I think Witcher maybe should be on there. Maybe not Witcher 2. Because Witcher 3 has just like such crazy like breaching storylines, as well as like a combat system that you would normally not find all over the place, as well as like traps and like story and shit. Yeah, I don't know. Witcher I feel like is on the bleeding edge of being like I'll accept it. I feel like Witcher makes sense to be there, but Baldur's Gate 3, I feel like maybe just more time needs to pass. But I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 makes some sense. I think, I want to mention good games that like should be in the Hall of Fame kind of thing of like tens, like fucking tens. But like I want to say God of War, like the original God of War reboot, like with Atreus and all that stuff. But I don't know. I feel like we've seen the mechanics before, like Uncharted, like storytelling and stuff like that. It's not about like the brilliance of the execution, it's the introduction of new mechanics and ideas, whilst also being successful. It's like that weird criteria that I feel like it puts it on that map. We're not talking about good, like the best, most experiential game that you've loved a bit. It's like an overall holistic, I guess, approach to this like Hall of Fame type thing, like true tens. Because sometimes you could go like there's great games that you should absolutely play, which I think are nines. But tens are like this mutated freak that is somehow done put everything on hard mode by introducing new mechanics and then sold them to such an extent that they actually succeed. You know? I can only imagine Baldur's Gate 3. Most of these games weren't the first, but they're being the most impactful in influence of other games and the genre in the valleys. I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 could be argued there. I just don't know if Baldur's Gate. I don't know if the previous Baldur's Gates have hit like what's it called? Escape velocity. Can't speak. You get the point. Anyways. Skyrim was the most. Also, for those guys who do not know what our Sunday streams are normally like, the chat is not delayed. Because Sunday is basically our time as a community just to catch up. I basically will not leave any comment behind. So if you write something to me, I'll get it. I'll just scroll up to where the comment is and work my way down. So it's not that it's delayed. It's just that I don't want to leave your comment behind. Yeah. Skyrim was the most popular, but I'd say Oblivion and Morrowind were better. But I agree with Skyrim becoming the major influence. Yeah, no, again, I feel like Skyrim is like, it had way more impact, but it would only refine the mechanics that the predecessor initially imbued, which I feel like doesn't count, weirdly enough. I feel like you need to set a high fucking bar, like Minecraft. No one ever fucking seen anything like this weird builder sim with max complexity with an infinitely repairing world or building world. Like no one ever seen that, and it also nailed it. Like it resonated with people. It was successful. Like there's that weird criteria that my head puts it above, like you were playing on hard mode and you fucking succeeded. Otherwise, it's you understood what you did really well and you iterated upon it enough to where you razor edge sharpened all these mechanics, and that therefore you have like a 9 out of 9 game, like fucking really good, or 9 out of 10 game, which is like a fucking amazing game, but it didn't really basically break all the rules and foster a new kind of spark, I guess. Wiggle says Armored Core series and Monster Hunter's a good one. I don't know enough about Armored Core to chime in, but a Monster Hunter I could see being one of them. Yeah, I don't think we've seen a lot of the mechanics that are introduced in Monster Hunter, and it also was massively successful. I think that Monster Hunter deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame, that kind of thing. The true tens. Fluff says Vampire Survivor pretty much led the way for the bullet haven genre, so many games have been inspired by that. Yeah, and I think I have heard Vampire Survivor, is extremely successful, so I think that maybe counts. I don't know if it's reached the same level of like Baldur's Gate or of Skyrim, but probably. I just don't know enough about the game. There's a lot of games that have heavily inspiration of Breath of the Wild. Yes, there is another open world sandbox game, but then with the thing with Genshin, inspired by got it. I'm not sure if it's necessarily as like people copied it. Like again, I think Fable may have a place there because it just did so many things and no one necessarily copied it. So it's not necessarily that it like sets a trend. It's more of like it's just done something really difficult. What's good? Tyler says hi. Hello, Tyler. I'm very sick and I hope I can survive this stream. Love you, and yeah. There's a lot of games that Dark Souls was impactful one, despite Dark Souls the prior FromSoft titles. Yeah. I lost my thing. Where is it? Ooh, Mass Effect's a good one. I didn't even think about that. Mass Effect I think should be good. Fluff says sadly Fable and something like Spore, as much as I love both, didn't see much success or influence towards future titles. Yeah, no, to me, I think we're scaling on a different platform or a different like medium. To me, I guess to me like one like yeah, I'm not. It's not necessarily like for me. I guess the criteria doesn't have to be like games that initiated like a massive wave of success. Like I would also put another game by Lionhead called Black and White. Super innovative game. Had a shit ton of new mechanics introduced, very unique, and was successful, like pretty damn near success. But I don't know if success is the only metric that I want to measure. I kind of want to measure stuff that's like you introduce so many new mechanics that were different, and also you succeeded, which is rare. Like usually you build off of what people have already establishedly liked. Wiggle says our Arma Portal, I see Portal. Half-Life is also, Half-Life absolutely should be on there for sure. Half-Life, I agree. Portal, I don't think we've seen like puzzle games quite like that, and I think it really did carve out a new niche. I definitely think Mass Effect should be on there. It's interesting because when I think about Mass Effect, I wonder if we should include Witcher then. The Witcher 3, I mean, or Witcher 3, I think is where it really started to. Maybe not. Maybe Witcher 2. I don't know. Because Mass Effect did a lot of the story things. If you can contrast them both, they're kind of doing the same thing. And Mass Effect did come first. Those of you guys who are just tuning in, we're talking about like games that are true 10s when looking holistically back at the last 20 years. With not just looking at like what made the most money or what was the most whatever. It's more of like a overall, this game deserves to be in this list because it did stuff that was so different, and it succeeded at the same time. Things like Minecraft, I think, is like the best thing of like, okay, yeah, that unarguably Minecraft should be in that list. Even if you hate the game, you can't not acknowledge the fact that it was so impactful as well as being so out there and different as far as its mechanics goes. That's why I like Call of Duty. I want it to be on there, but maybe the first Call of Duty because yeah. Like I don't know if because Call of Duty exists, I don't know if Battlefield should exist. Battlefield should be on there because I don't think like Battlefield had destructible environments, but it didn't have like another 50 other things. Maybe it had bigger maps, maybe. Yeah. There's an incredible number of games, but on the frame of those four, yeah, I feel like that all those things you mentioned were Arma. I don't know. Arma, I get it's very out there or different. I just don't know if Arma ever had. I feel like it still needs to have reached success in order to validate its stomach. I'm not sure if Arma ever reached like Half-Life level of success. You know. There's an incredible. Fluff says Witcher 3 be like would be. But the first two games didn't catch on. Yeah. Devil May Cry is an interesting one. Metroid, yeah. I don't know. I don't know why, but Castlevania feels like it's a little out of place there. Devil May Cry, maybe. Metroid, yeah, I don't know. Just with Metroid, I feel like there's still games that I feel like were kind of in its same vein. Like I don't know if it did the thing like we're kind of trying to speak to here, which is like pushing things massively forward by introducing mechanics that people have very little experience with, that kind of and therefore should have an abrasion towards, but then succeed in the way, which is like really hard to do, you know. Most of my list isn't a personal bias. Yeah, I'm not like a lot of these games I haven't played, but I get like saying Half-Life. I've never actually experienced the full Half-Life games. I think I experienced a little bit of the first one. I can't wait to play it on VR, by the way. It sounds awesome to play Half-Life on VR. Like, not the Half-Life Alyx. I'm talking about the old Half-Life games. You can play in VR, which is cool. But anyways, yeah, I haven't experienced any of those games, but I still think, like, looking back at it, like, yeah, that should definitely be on there. It was super different and out there, whilst also being extremely successful. Otherwise, I'd say something like City of Heroes, but WoW was the redefined MMO. Ooh, was City of Heroes before WoW? I didn't know that. Yeah, it's tough because I don't know if I want to put the criteria on there for like refined version of X. Like otherwise, I want to put Fable 2 on there. But I think it's fairer to say Fable 1 detonated all of the mechanics that were really fantastic and different and out there, and then Fable 2 is kind of just the one that made it all sharper, you know. And I feel like Fable 1 deserves the credit of being like super out there and also hitting the mark for a good bit of people. Most of the list is it. Otherwise, I'd say something like that. A Resident Evil. Ooh, I feel like Silent Hill should definitely be on there. I think Outlast also could be on there. I don't feel like there's many games that were like Outlast. Granted, I don't know if that game. Yeah, I think that game experience escape velocity like was successful. I think that's fair. I don't know. We're getting weird though. I don't know if I want to put Outlast on the. I guess in the horror genre, sure. I don't know many games like that. Silent Hill for sure. Yeah. Most of the list is that. Lone says, also my drawing is coming along nicely. Can't wait to see it. I finished the outline now. That's left. The coloring, the coloring I bet is a motherfucker. Good luck, Lone. Resident Evil, yeah. Resident Evil, I don't know. I would say not the first couple Resident Evils. I'd say as soon as you had the like over the shoulder element, I feel like that's when it became unique enough. Because otherwise, I feel like the first couple Resident Evils were kind of not different enough, you know. Wiggle says, I don't think BG3 counts. Baldur's Gate 3 is basically Divinity. Yeah, it's true. Maybe, yeah. Divinity with Baldur's Gate lore, it's a great game, but I really don't think it's a fun. Yeah, that's true. I feel like it's fair. Even though it's... Also, I feel like, yeah, Divinity is one of those games that I feel like, well, arguably Divinity hasn't hit that escape velocity. But I feel like the first criteria has to be that. It has to be, like, defined, unique mechanics. And then, like, the bonus is escape velocity. Yeah, like, I really do... I'm not sure if you guys know the game I'm talking about, but there's a game called Black and White, where you basically could, like, raise an animal, raise a civilization. There was morality in it. There was, like, tons of layers upon this weird evolution. Oh, goddamn, Carthage. Thank you so much. Carthage just subscribed a tier 1 sub. They've been subscribed for 63 motherfucking months. Golly. Carthage says, I feel like shit, so I can't stay, but I'm still going to drop my dominance on the table. You want to get a new table for this, Grim. I think I'm starting to break. Yeah, it's starting to dent. Anyways, I'm hella sick as well, Carthage. Enjoy your time, though. But thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah. Hopefully you're taking care of yourself and everything's good with you. Also, I want to ask you how the States is, because I think you're back, right? You're now back in the States. How is life balanced out for you again? Hopefully. Fluff says, just like Blizzard, Gone almost never had this kind of thing, but had become one of the most influential. Yeah, Diablo 2 is even RPG wants to be. That's tough. Yeah, Diablo 2 probably deserves to be there. It's tough. I don't know, that one feels weird. I feel like that one I want to fight against somehow. I feel like Diablo 2 might have learned something from other things. I don't know. Diablo 2 is Diablo 2 specifically sparked many Diablo-like and okay, no, now you guys win. I don't know. I haven't played enough of Diablo to really sink in. Carly says, yes, I'm back in the U.S. Arizona is hot as fuck, but Taiwan had heat and humidity. Yeah, I hear humidity. Same thing with Canada, where like cold is crushed by the painfulness of windshield or wind shear, I think is what it's called. I don't know. I always call it windshield. But yeah, basically wind. Like if you've ever experienced cold weather, it's bad. But if cold weather with a fucking heavy wind just slices through your fucking flesh, it's brutal. But yeah, I imagine the same thing with humidity and heat. Ugh. Also, what do you call it, Carthage? What have you been doing as far as job goes? Because you've had quite the career, especially in Taiwan. I'm curious what the next thing is. Lone says Resident Evil 4 influenced the whole third-person shooter genre. Yeah, I feel like that makes sense. The prior Resident Evils, I don't feel like it's enough. I know it did a lot, but I don't know if it did enough. You know, Uncharted was another influential game. It's more pioneered the Sony exclusive AA games. Yeah, I also think I can't remember a lot of games that were as like that version of story, and maybe it's just good branding based on Uncharted. Like I remember they had the whole fucking thing where like your girlfriend wants to watch a movie for you, and your girlfriend's dumb as bricks or some shit. I spent everywhere. Your girlfriend's horribly stupid. She's like, "Are we watching the movie yet?" And you're like, "Wow, brutal." Anyways, Lionhead's old games were fantastic, but personally, bias aside, almost none of them went into the influential impact of future games. Yeah, I don't know if the whole future game thing is my criteria. It's more of like it does something different and still succeeds. But I'm not fighting over any of those ones. I feel like I know like there's some ones I think we're all in unanimous agreement that should be there. Half-Life should be there. Minecraft should be there. Arguably Fortnite should be there. Resident Evil could. I'm not sure that one's as. I'm not sure if I'm as much of a stickler as I am in that one. But I feel like there's a conversation about it. I feel Knights of the Old Republic. I feel like I've heard tons of good things about that game. Yeah, I think it did enough new things to where it wasn't just wow. Like the story was different and all these things. Although you guys will have to chime in on that because I actually haven't played that game, but it looks great. I just haven't played it. Yeah, I know a lot of games that do that though, Fluff. Like the Metro, like I know what you mean. I just feel like I know a lot of games that have done that kind of thing, and I don't know if all of those games that have spawned the blank-like series of things have always been the games that did a lot of innovative new stuff. Sometimes it's just like the person that does it the best whilst using a handful of all of these things that everyone's seen before really well, that to me doesn't make it feel as like have such an impact as the others. If that makes sense. For narrative games, there are very few things that top Stanley Parable is a good one. I just don't know if Stanley Parable experienced like enough escape velocity. Maybe. Yeah, I guess that was. I was gonna say like there's games like really good story games that have like branching paths, but I think that's a difficult one. I feel like Stanley Parable deserves to be in like the Hall of Fame for like tens, but like in the corner somewhere where it's like these are indie games. These are indie games that kind of it was almost impossible for them to like reach mass market appeal, but still fucking dope as hell and did a lot of innovative things, and they should be in that little tiny box. But to put like the Stanley Parable in the same category as like Minecraft or Half-Life feels a little fucked. I feel a little weird. So I agree that it should be there, but maybe not in the same wall, I guess. And again, I want to stress that like a 9 out of 10 game is like a must play. It's fucking brilliant. It's so good. But 10 is like this impossibly good, defined. It broke all the rules and still fucking succeeded. That's that kind of thing for me, you know. The game series really sparks the other related market. Lego. Oh yeah, the Star Wars Lego games. Yeah, Lego games fucking popped off. It's true. I don't know. It feels kind of weird to put those ones in the same category as like Minecraft or Half-Life. Again, I feel like those are 9s. Like 9s are fucking close to that like bleeding edge, super good. Dead by Daylight. Oh, that's tough because I feel like that one makes sense. Even though I don't know if I feel right about putting it again up against the Minecrafts and the Fortnites and the fucking Half-Life Alyx or Half-Life games. I feel like again it's a solid 9, which is like an extremely good thing. Yeah, but it did do a lot of new shit with the whole horror genre, the perspective changes, that one's tough. Because also that game is popular as fuck too. I don't know what happened with that, but yeah, that one's tough. It doesn't feel right, if that makes any sense. It feels like I get it. I get why you brought it up. I just in my soul it feels like again when we look at the holistic people up in the chain, it feels a little like it's at 80% there, but it's missing that 20% that makes me feel good about it, you know. Because in the same way that like Dead by Daylight, I feel like you could look at the whole like FNAF series, and in the combination of the weird different things it kind of did, in combination with like its massive impact, it kind of feels like if Dead by Daylight is at 80% in about to be in the question. In the Hall of Fame, FNAF is fucking at like 50%. It's a little bit lower. It feels like it's a little bit less, but I kind of get the idea. Divinity Original Sin 2 main. Oh fuck! There was this one game. I can't think of what it's called. It's any of my old people out there. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called, but it was like I can only tell you the premise. You play like this guy who's in like a fantasy world. You have like this demon, you have this like angelic voice in your head. You can like kick things, you can use magic, you can use daggers, you can use bows. There's like a bow dart. It's an older game. I can't think what it was called. The Dark Beyond Good and Evil. No, Beyond something. I don't know. You had this voice in your head. You had this blonde girl who could be your like companion. But this voice in your head was actually a demon. You were the son of the Demon King. It was a whole thing. But anyways, that game was super out there too and tried a lot of shit. I just don't know if it ever succeeded. But yeah. Wiggle says, wind chill. That's what it is, wind chill. I grew up in Maine. I know yeah, it's brutal. It's tough. Also, Carthage says, I'm working at a place that isn't the mechanic and makes motors. Microchips now. Oh fuck, okay. Now you've had a fucking seasoned career. You worked on planes, and I think you worked on like in Taiwan you worked for some sort of different thing. I can't remember what it is. But now you're making tiny chips. That seems like an amazing like secure job. Like the fact that you're in microchip production seems crazy. Also, I didn't do the TTS text-to-speech thing correctly. Also, here's a bad joke. To most people, prison is just a word. To others, it's a whole sentence. To most people, prison is just a word. To others, it's a whole sentence. Oh, a prison sentence. I see. I'm sick. They have done the kind of thing because of Metroid Castlevania. They were a genre divide. Yeah. Also, I plead the fifth in some of these. I have no idea. I've little experience with the whole Castlevania things, nor Metro, but I'm sure if you're fighting for it, I feel like it makes Metro. I feel like it makes sense. I've heard Metro enough to where I'm like, yeah, I would not have heard about it so consistently if it wasn't a big deal, etc. KOTOR and SWTOR, a single-player RPG series that MMO is based. Yeah. That's what I feel. Okay, so maybe that's what it should be. Stanley Parable is so meta that no one has even bothered by trying to. Yeah, that's true too. I feel like there's that weird thing. Although I wonder why, because the guy who made it, I don't think he made it's weird when like a game does so well and it's so unique, but then like the guy who makes it doesn't continue to make shit. It's weird. Or if he does, it's not nearly as successful, which is kind of sad if that's the case. But I don't think that's the case. Undertale, I feel like definitely should be there. Well, fuck, I just don't know Undertale. I'm not sure if it reached the same like level of popularity that I think it needs to be. Yeah, no, it probably did. I just feel like, like people are still playing Minecraft today. I'm not sure if Minecraft or if. Yeah, I feel like it's fair. I feel like it should be there. Like Half-Life, people are still playing Gary's mod like a ton. I feel like it makes sense that that's there. Ooh, I don't know if Gears quite did enough. I feel like I get it. I think it's a 9, but I don't know if Gears did enough shit. You know what I mean? Gears had the cool chain rip apart enemies. The cover system was kind of neat, but I don't think we didn't see it before that game. Story was good. Yeah, it did a lot of things amazing, but I don't know if it introduced new mechanics that were like fucking bangers. You're like not even bangers, but like just different mechanics that you never seen before that you're like, oh fuck, I actually like this. One says also Dead Island 2 DLC. I seen it. Yeah, it's like a bunch of people in gimp suits, right? It looked a little odd to me. But yeah, man, it's a shame. I wish YouTube was less fucking dogmatic about blood, and despite there's like tons of music videos with people shaking ass and shit, and if you also there's plenty of like, it's a fucking video game. It's a fake. It's not fucking real. You know what I mean? How can you have like an action movie where there's gore or something like that, and that's fine, but then in a video game you're like, no, it's too much. And I'm like, come on, man. Is really fucking like lotion or Vicks or something that's advertising on YouTube so in like hates the fact that like they're being advertised in the same place as those things? It's just weird. Anyways, yeah, I'm excited for the DLC. I probably won't play it though because I can't make videos of it because YouTube hates the gore. Even though I make fucking VR games, which are pretty gory. Anyways, yeah, Googling most influential games of all time has a handful of what I've mentioned. Yeah, no, I don't. Again, it's weird. Like when there's certain games that when you say BioShock. Yeah, I just seen that pop up in your comment. BioShock to me makes sense. BioShock was incredible. I can't even describe all the things that BioShock did immensely well that I'd never seen before. But yeah, there's certain things when people say it, you're like, yeah, I just don't know if it deserves. BioShock, I feel like deserves to be in that holy grail of like Minecraft's. Pokemon is also a good one too. COD is weird to me. I feel like one of the CODs has to be there, if it's not even just the first one. Because you can't, it's just been so goddamn influential, even though I don't know if I enjoy it being there. I feel like I'm gonna puke. The whole illness thing is getting a little out of hand. Ugh. Metal Gear is an interesting one. Street Fighter, I feel like, I don't feel like Street Fighter quite belongs in there. Because I just don't think I feel like we've seen other things like in Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. So I'm not sure which one came first, but maybe it was Street Fighter. Metal Gear, I feel like could be in there. I feel like we're in agreement maybe with BioShock, but I don't know about Metal Gear. Metal Gear is one of those ones where I feel like it was one of those games that iteratively became better. Like it took one thing and then it made it better, then it added a new mechanic and then it made it better. I don't know if it had that punch like Minecraft did, where it was like, here's a fucking brand new bunch of mechanics, have a field day, and then it also succeeded. I've never even played Metroid or Castlevania, but I've played a few of their games that are inspired by it. Yeah, that makes sense. Pokemon, I feel like Pokemon makes sense. It's experience escape velocity, and there hasn't been many games that I feel like it's such a trope, even though I dislike it at this point, that it's like water counters this and that counters that. Even though I'm kind of over it, it just seems like I want them to innovate at this point. But yeah, I feel like that Pokemon makes sense being in there. I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point. Wiggles mentions Guitar Hero. Fuck. Yeah, I don't feel like it's fair to say like the relevancy isn't as ingratiated in nowadays. I feel like at the time it was amazing and it checked all the boxes. I feel like also Guitar Hero makes sense being in there. Oh, I've caught up on the chat. Good. Oh my god, dude, I'm sweating. I just have these moments where I just get super fucking hot and then I boil alive and then I gotta fucking cool down somehow. And my stomach hurts, and then I get dizzy, and I feel like I want to puke a little bit. I'm okay. COD, Modern Warfare, Super Mario should be in there for sure. PUBG is weird. Like again, I feel weird about like that's why some of the lists to me feel weird. I get that PUBG technically spawned the battle royale formula, but that was the only thing that it did. Like it didn't have all of these other mechanics that it introduced that make me feel like it. Like again, Half-Life was one of the first physics engines. It had story, it had guns, it had like a bunch of these unique mechanics associated with it. Whereas to me, I'm like PUBG. It's like, oh, it was I'm not arguing that it didn't like foster a massive series, like a big wave, but it doesn't feel like it's in the same category as all those other ones we just mentioned. You know, it feels like that's missing, and it's hard because I keep trying to define like what I kind of mean. It's difficult for me. What I find, it's like, what is this? How do I describe it? Like, again, to me, it's like when I was sleeping last night and I couldn't sleep at all because I was fucking, sick and all that stuff. I was in my head. I was like, well, like a lot of people give like all of these games a ton of credit, like 10 out of 10. They're amazing. But then a lot of times, like Game of the Year is a 10 out of 10 game or whatever. Same thing with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's amazing. The new Spider-Man game, I hear nothing but good things. People saying it's a 10 out of 10 game. So it had me thinking about like, I mean, if we're talking about 10 out of 10, if we step back 20 years, what is 10 out of 10 then? Not like if you're competing with all of these other games that are also fantastic. Then to me, I go back to being like, well, I guess you'd have to go by like what we're kind of talking about, which is like impact and uniqueness of introduction of mechanics, I guess. Because those are like the cutting edge, the bleeding edge of these new things that came out and happened. And again, I can't stress enough how like, when you do that, when you look at all these games, you take a step back and you're like, oh, all of these games are probably 9s. Like, as much as I love God of War, the reboot, essentially, the reboot to the God of War series, those to me are like amazing games. You should absolutely play them. They're brilliant. But I don't know if they did so many different things. I feel like I've seen it in Uncharted, the same type of storytelling type mechanics. I feel like I've seen melee combat similar to other games. It's not to say that like the amalgamation of all these brilliant things together can't affect a brilliant thing. Yeah, it's tough. But I feel like, again, I want to just put more love on how good a 9 game is when you pull them back like that. Like, there's a lot of arguments for like 9s are must plays. 10s are playing like the hardest difficulty in a video game blindfolded, and they still fucking succeed. It's that weird shit. Final Fantasy. Ooh. That one I feel like is fair. Ooh, which one would it be though? That's tough. I'm not sure which Final Fantasy would be the one that's the most, that introduced the most things while also being the most, tough. Nub says, oh, Nub. Nub, what's good, Nub? Thank you for fixing the problem on the Discord where there was a bot. I tried to do it. I don't know if I did it or not. It's rough. Nub says, the reason PUBG didn't create that is because it was forcefully done by companies not allowing it to naturally grow because of the era we are in. Oh, okay, I see. Also, what's good, Herb? Herb said, I hope you feel better. Thank you, Herb. I feel like shit, but thank you. I feel better now. You say that. Nub says, if you want to value that, you must accept that Starfield is a 3. I feel like that's fair. You can put, in holistically, if we pull back and we look at all of the games, fucking Starfield's like a 2. Like, it didn't do anything fucking unique. I agree with that. I don't think, if we zoom in and we're like, in 2009, when you're not going to go back and play fucking Half-Life 5 or Half-Life 1, I think you should play fucking Starfield instead of playing a fucking decade-old game. But yeah, I agree with that. I agree, like, if we're looking back from this, like, this context, not like, because a lot of Game of the Years are decided by the year that we're in, not this pullback perspective. But yeah, you got any to throw into the Hall of Fame, the true Hall of Fame, Nub? Also, why are you cross streaming now? Oh, because Twitch basically made it so that we don't have to worry about it. We can stream 2 platforms now, which is pretty dope. So it's cool. We're now streaming always on 2 platforms, which is cool. Because, it's goddamn Twitch, stop being rude about it. Fluff says, I agree with Pokemon is huge despite it hardly being the first JRPG, but I definitely it's its own subgenre of capture battle evolve. Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, Halo. Ooh. Yeah, I feel like that's fair. I can't really think of many things that were like Halo. Yeah, no, Halo should definitely be on that list. It's funny though, because like if I think about it like this, I'm like, yeah, man, the last couple of Halo games were kind of okay. You know what I mean? But we're not looking at it like that. We're looking at like the ones that had the most impact by pulling ourselves back. Yeah, I agree with Halo, but like right now I'm kind of like Halo kind of feels mid, just because they haven't really done a lot. You know what I mean? But yeah, although apparently the new Halo like update thing made it nice. I don't know. Ark Survival Evolved. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if because it's so like relegated to PC. I just don't know if it's really, because I don't think Ark has nearly as enough oomph. I know Ark has a lot of oomph. How am I trying to phrase this? Basically, with it being, I'm not sure if you can get the same out of Ark on console that you can out of PC. In fact, I don't even know if Ark's on console. I feel like it has to be. But Ark, I feel like, is close. But it feels weird putting Ark in the same category as a game like Half-Life and Minecraft and all those kind of things. Again, I feel like Ark is a 9. Like, it does a lot of things really, really well, but I don't think it has reached the kind of needed escape velocity that has, like, it's on the same level as, like, Pokemon and shit like that, you know, or Final Fantasy. I feel like it's close. Again, so I wouldn't be upset by people throwing it into the equation. Fluff says Street Fighter definitely came first. Oh, fuck, it did? Okay. And then, yeah, okay, I feel good about putting Street Fighter on there. Also, it's like, I think everyone knows the name Street Fighter, so it's not an argument that it's not successful. And, yeah, I feel like, yeah, because if it was one of the first ones there, that makes sense. Wiggle says, Ark, if you're talking most influential jank. Yeah. Well, I do think Ark, like, was one of the first to introduce a lot of those mechanics, right? Like, taming dinosaurs. Maybe not taming in general, but just the infrastructure that they have and all that stuff. It was very successful and influential game for the influential survival. Yeah, I agree with that. Ooh, what is the most influential survival game? I think it sounds fucked up, but again, I'd say, maybe I'm an asshole. It's Minecraft, even though it's barely a survival game, but it's just because Minecraft is such a juggernaut, it's hard to say that it's not. Okay, if we couldn't pick Minecraft, what would be the most influential survival game? I feel like I'm missing one. Ark, I don't know. Ark, I don't think of as a survival game, really. It's hard. I feel like I'm missing one. Forest wouldn't be. I can't think of it. Maybe you guys have some input. I'm not sure about that one. Fluff says PUBG probably started the Battle Royale and Fortnite was refined. Yeah, but the one thing I like, the reason why I think Fortnite is actually wins out in this whole like Hall of Fame argument kind of thing is because to me I think Fortnite, the reason why I put Fortnite in the Hall of Fame is not because of the Battle Royale thing at all, actually. It's because of all the other things surrounding it, like the buildable mechanics, the updates constantly, the guns, the level ups. Even in Save the World had like a ton of shit that was unique to those types of games I haven't really seen in a lot of other games. Yeah, like to me, like the last thing the reason I put Fortnite in there is not because of the Battle Royale thing, you know? Although it kind of helps. Super Mario 60, yeah, Super Mario has to be in there. I feel like that's just, again, it's tough though, because like I don't want to tell anyone to go play fucking OG Super Mario. I mean, but again, when it talks about impact over the last couple 20 years, we gotta put that in there. I get you. Because it's originally looking at the origin of Arma 2 and Daisy 3. Oh, I see. That's what you guys mean. Got it. Nub says you should have the cross chat thingy. What's that? I thought Twitch had a rule where you can't actually merge chats on screen, but maybe it's just one that's not there. Because if there is like an app that merges both chats together, that'd be amazing. I would totally use that. Dota first MMO, MOBA, as far as I know. Yeah, even though I don't know that game enough, I feel like it's fair. I don't know. I feel like I don't know the game. I just know that like it's one of the most successful games, specifically in the East and things like that. Would that other game that like a lot of people like, which is like Star, it's like weird like monster game, kind of like in the same vein as Dota, except not like in that same weird Asian subculture of, fuck, I can't think of the name of it. So there's like this like alien lady who, not like this robotic AI lady who's telling you to tell your mobs to go fight over there, and fuck, I can't think of the name of it. That might be in there. Oh. Fluff says, narrowing it down to the last 20 years, Minecraft, WoW, GTA 3, Half-Life, Ooh, I don't know if I put Last of Us in there. Last of Us, to me, it feels weird because, again, I've seen mechanics like that in Uncharted. I've seen all that stuff in Uncharted and things like that. Also, I think Uncharted is arguably, I feel like it's comparable to its reach and success. Mortal Kombat, I feel, is tough too, because I like when you said, I feel like the prerequisites that really, like, here are all these new mechanics, and then they still succeed, and then every other game after it just iterates on it and makes it better. I feel like we gotta give credit to the baseline that was like, here's the fucking mechanics, and it also fucking Dark Souls definitely should be there. StarCraft is was the thing I was thinking about. StarCraft, I wonder if StarCraft should be there. StarCraft was played well. Part is the life expectancy. Backbone of the Korea. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, it's like the Asian countries love that game. Yeah, I feel that makes sense. Wii Sports. Why Wii Sports? Chrono Trigger, says Carthage. Chrono Trigger is a big one, a Super Nintendo game that was one of the first I had to have multiple endings with an amazing story, subplot, and influential characters. I don't know. I haven't played Chrono Trigger. Y'all have to divvy that out. I'm not sure. I could see it happening though. I heard the name before, Chrono Trigger. You guys getting a little too in the past. I have no reference. Half-Life has potential. Counter-Strike is tough too. Oh, but it's built off of a Half-Life mod. But it is pretty unique itself. Team Fortress, I feel like I'd feel better about. I feel like I trade out Counter-Strike and I put in Team Fortress to being just more different and innovative. Even though they both come from Half-Life, but still. That's a good one. Left 4 Dead. Fuck, that one's... Yeah, I can't think of many other games. I mean, Resident Evil, it's not even the same category as Resident Evil. Yeah, I feel like I feel good about putting Left 4 Dead somewhere in there as being like unique and doing a lot of different shit. Yeah, I feel like that's fair. I feel good about putting Left 4 Dead in there. Oh, Lone says, honestly, I can't think of any game. It's fair. I don't know, survival games is a weird fucking niche. Survival game, actually, I would put Don't Starve. Yeah, that'd be my like survival game of choice to put in the Hall of Fame. Don't Starve is fucking crazy unique. Yeah. And also, I think it's like massively successful, so I think it works. Is it more successful than Ark Survival Evolved? I honestly think maybe. Weirdly enough. Fluff says Minecraft. Tekken. Tekken refined the 3D fighting game genre or subgenre. Yeah, Minecraft is not even a question. If someone doesn't say Minecraft, we're not talking about the same categories. Okay, even if you fucking hate Minecraft. Fluff says Breath of the Wild has survival elements, but it's not quite the same. Yeah, I feel like Breath of the Wild, I feel like it's really difficult for me because I feel like I get why it's being brought up, but at the same time, I feel like Breath of the Wild should be our baseline of like it makes the cut, but not by a lot. By like the very, again, it's not quite in the same categories like Minecraft and all these crazy other games. We're not talking about quality of game. We're talking about innovative things as well as the brevity of all the games that have come out in the last 20 years. Nub says, I don't think I've ever given a game a 10. I don't know if it's... Well, we're kind of talking about holistically if you look at, like, the overall games that defined... Not even defined, it's a bad way to put it. Games that, like, feel like it feels right when you say that game's a 10. Like, when I say Minecraft's... If we look at holistically, the whole year, 20-year span of video games, or the last 20 years or 30 years, whatever I want to say, letting them all compete against one another, both in terms of influence, both in terms of, like, introducing unique mechanics. Because you can't just... Because a lot of games basically just refine old mechanics like to a razor sharp degree, which feels like it's kind of cheating. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, well, yeah, you just took the sum of all the parts that were good and just made them better and razor sharp them, but you didn't have the balls to introduce something completely new and then for it to still kill it like Minecraft did and things like that. You know? I really feel like I gotta give credit. I really don't want to not have games that tried to do new things, like introduced first time seeing new mechanics like Oblivion or Morrowind. Those kind of things I think also should be there. I feel like that deserves a lot of credit because it's fucking difficult to introduce brand new mechanics and for it to resonate with people, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, what's good, Hedis? Hedis says, hey Grim, I messaged you on Discord. Was wondering if you... I didn't get the message. I didn't get the message yet. Yeah, or at all. I wonder why. I'll check my DMs after stream, Hedis. I'm feeling a little ill today, but I'll try to get to that. I don't know if I actually allowed actually, but some people do it. It was weird because apparently one of the games that truly innovated the game concept is apparently EVE Online. I've never heard of it before, but there is that one game that comes to mind, like Beyond Good and Evil, that like we're starting to get so old that I don't know. I also don't know if it's like the same thing as Half-Life. Like Half-Life, everyone knows fucking Half-Life. I think a couple people. I feel like it'd be easier to find people who don't know about Beyond Good and Evil than Half-Life. No, I could just be ignorant on not knowing how good that game is or how known that game is. There was a 5-hour video on the history of gaming and stuff like that I've barely seen 1 hour. Gotcha. I also don't know if I would love, again, that's where we get to like a weird nitty-gritty thing of like, okay, well, this is technically where all the games started from, so it's the most impactful, and I'm like, yeah, I feel bad about it. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like we're talking about the same thing. Almost all the games I have mentioned are mentioned for a reason in that they've been some of the most impactful as far. Yeah. Again, I've told you guys my weird criteria of why I feel like in my head, you guys are helping me build my thing of like, oh, I didn't think about Left 4 Dead. That's a good one. That definitely should be in there. Minecraft should definitely be in there. You guys bring up good points. I didn't know Street Fighter was so like one of the first things going on, especially with the like that type of game. And yeah. You should be able to have both chat on screen as side by side. Yeah, that's what you do. I'm just kind of worried about my PC being able to render that. Might not have a stroke. Wiggle says, let it die. First pay to win, a roguelike, laugh my ass. Yeah, Let It Die was the first. Let It Die is such an enigma, man. In fact, they're like, yeah, we're gonna. What a great idea. We'll make a game. It's such a fucking bad sell. We'll make a game. It's extremely difficult. It's a roguelike, high risk, deep failure if you lose, all kind of stuff. And then we make a really difficult, hard game, and then we sell them the ability to revive themselves. Yeah. Are we rewarding them in some way for having to put up with that? And no. Okay. What? This seems like a bad deal for me. I'm gonna play a hard game in a difficult world, and then I'm gonna have to pay money to keep not die as much, or what? Shit. Fluff says Dota definitely is the MOBA genre, but League of Legends popular. Yeah, okay, that's what I feel like League of Legends I've heard a lot, but yeah, I feel like Dota makes sense as being in there. I feel like we gotta give credit to the people who put their neck out to define a lot of this shit. You know, as much as I do love like people who refine shit, the guy who's like, I'm gonna do the heavy lifting to introduce all these things, that guy I think deserves some credit. Lone says Mortal Kombat 9. What? Lone says personal bias. I don't even like TLOU, but I cannot deny its influence. Yeah, no, we're definitely not talking about like game influence. Like games we like. We're talking about like, again, in the last 20 years, if we look holistically at everything, what comes to mind? Wii Sports was highly influential, one of the most successful motion control games. Yeah. It feels weird putting that with Minecraft though a little bit, you know, or like Left 4 Dead. Like I get it. I feel like there's a subcategory that we need to create that's like. It feels like, again, look, we're missing a scaling metric. Like influential is a big deal, but there's another thing that I haven't defined yet. It feels like it makes sense of why shit it feels a little weird in its separation. Counter-Strike defined is subgenre despite sequel clones and Valorant. Yeah. Now we're not talking about. I know there's like a lot of like amazingness associated with some of these things we're talking about, but yeah. Oh. And Left 4 Dead inspired the likes of Back 4 Blood. Yeah. One of the best New York open world sandbox games. Definitely one of the best web swing. Oh, for like Spider-Man? The original Spider-Man 2? Oh, okay, yeah. I know what you mean. Not the Insomniac, yeah. We had the likes of Hulk, Ultimate Destruction, that inspired Prototype. Oh, Infamous is a good one. I feel like Infamous should be up there. I don't know if Prototype should be up there yet. Maybe. I feel like I don't know. I feel like Prototype is more akin to the old Spider-Man games. I feel like Infamous is different enough to where I don't feel like it feels the same, you know? But yeah, I feel like Infamous should be there. Far Cry is an interesting sell. Far Cry doesn't feel right. Far Cry 3, though, maybe. Nah, Far Cry doesn't sit well with me. I don't know why. Ooh, Assassin's Creed definitely should be on there somewhere. I don't know if Assassin's Creed 1, maybe. I feel like Assassin's Creed 1 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, or 2, could both be there, weirdly enough. I think Assassin's Creed 1 introduced like stealth mechanics, very cool, but then Assassin's Creed 2 introduced so many crazy other mechanics. It didn't just iterate upon what worked, it did a bunch of other shit really, really well. Like the melee combat, the parry system, all that kind of stuff. Arguably there was that's tough. I feel like they should both be there, but maybe that's a hard sell. Eve is the one and only spreadsheet sim. It's player dev. I can't read it because it's so tiny. Driven economy. All. Ooh, okay. Ooh, that's an interesting one too. What do you guys think about Warframe? I don't know. I feel like Warframe does enough different shit with its suit systems or its not javelins, whatever the fuck it's called. Its suit systems, I feel like it's different enough. Dang, that's tough. Borderlands for all the looters. Yeah, Borderlands is tough though because arguably Diablo, like if you think about what Diablo did with its loot system and its enemy system and its boss farming system, and then you contrast that with Borderlands. Borderlands, what stands out, it basically is a shooter then, and I think we've seen other shooters beforehand. It doesn't quite feel as like crazy out there different, you know. Not that I love Borderlands. I can't stress enough how I love Borderlands. It just feels weird. Yeah. Again, if Borderlands 1 didn't exist and we just went straight to Borderlands 2, I feel like that would be a better sell of like the true difference because it added humor, it added all these other things, and arguably Borderlands 1 was kind of bare bones a little bit. Although Borderlands 2 was also, I don't know, it's tough. That one's again one of those bleeding edge ones. Ooh, Smash Bros is a good one too. Yeah, I feel like it's not that one's tough. It's in the same, it's like so close to like the Street Fighter, like back and forth, smash each other apart kind of thing. Oh, I want to put Borderlands there though, because I do really think Borderlands was like special, you know. Ooh, Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell should definitely be there. I forgot about that game entirely. That game was huge, I think. I can't think of many games besides like Assassin's Creed, but I don't think they're even similar. Besides like it's a stealth game. That's tough. I'm not sure. What do you guys think about that? Splinter Cell. I feel like Splinter Cell, I don't know. Has Splinter Cell reached like escape velocity in terms of it being like big enough? Also, yeah, especially countering that with like Metal Gear. Arguably Metal Gear, a lot of the mechanics we see maybe in some Splinter Cell games could have originated or it had been introduced by Metal Gear. Fuck. Wiggles says Warframe just doesn't peak for me. It's got over 300 hours in it. It's great, but I just don't feel like it's. I feel like that's true. I feel like it's fair. Even though there is a lot of things going on with it, there's a lot of things that are different about it. I don't know if it's reached. Again, like comparing Warframe to Minecraft, I always just say that because to me it's like, okay, I get it. Like it's not that Warframe isn't amazing, but Warframe's a 9. You know what I mean? Warframe's a must play, all that. But it's not necessarily Minecraft. It's the same thing. Borderlands was essentially trying to its first. It took inspiration from Dale and inspired by those things. And if later shooter genre, so we get Destiny. Yeah, Destiny's one of the ones. Where do you guys put Destiny? I don't feel like you can't put it on like a high list. And again, we're not talking about like Destiny. You could argue is a great game or whatever, like it's a 9. But I don't know if it just doesn't feel right to put it on that thing. I would feel better about putting Borderlands than I would of Destiny. You know, despite Destiny does do some unique things. Have I tried My Time at Chandrock? I haven't yet. I haven't read. I do see gameplay of it and it looks really tempting. It looks, especially I'm super sick right now, and that does seem like a nice. I'm super sick. Let me just fucking do nothing and play a video game kind of thing. But I also think I just want to sleep as well. So, although I do see not a lot of people covering the game, which is a shame. It looks like a game that you could talk about and show off, which is a shame. How are you enjoying it though, Red? I bet you got no sleep. he just says, hope you feel better. Thank you so much, he does. Nub says, EVE Online has a space, or is a space MMO. Dota ain't even the first one. It was AOS that introduced all the mechanics. Well, shit. Well, shit. But did it have the same like influence, or sorry, say the same escape velocity as Dota? Because I feel like we need to find a balance between like introducing new ideas and then also making those ideas resonate, meaning people like the game. People really like the game and played it a lot. Will says OG Ghost Recon. Ooh, you don't think Metal Gear defined a lot of the things that Ghost Recon ended up doing? Everyone was making more WW2 shooters, World War II shooters. They derailed and made something modern, fantastic, futuristic at the time. Oh yeah. That one's, I feel weird about that one. That one's hard, just because I feel like Metal Gear takes a lot of the steam away from Ghost Recon, unfortunately. But maybe I'm missing up my timelines. Maybe it came before that. Love says, as I stated beforehand, Monster Hunter defined. Yeah, I think Monster Hunter. I feel Monster Hunter is fair. Monster Hunter should be there. I say that as a person who doesn't really play a lot of Monster Hunter, but yeah, I feel like it makes sense. Same thing as WoW. You know, I don't really think the pay-to-win game belongs on the list. So that's probably why Warframe is out of. Really, Warframe is one of those games I don't really. I don't know. I've played it. I never really felt like it was too pay to win. Or at all, especially when you can like massively leverage the economy system if you want to make that a whole mini game in itself. I will say I think that game's a time suck. Like it's like obviously a time suck. In order to craft all these mechs and these things is tough. Fluff says, being the aforementioned Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Street Fighter, Devil May Cry, ooh, Dragon's Dogma. That one's tough. I feel like that's fair. Dragon's Dogma, Hall of Fame, the last 20 years of video games. That one's tough. That one's low Hall of Fame for me. That one's like it barely makes it if it does. Now again, this is not saying that it's not a great game. It's just saying that like if you look at the last 20 years, I keep saying that just in case someone pops in, they're like, what's going on? We're talking about like the most impactful and like meaningful games in the last 20 years outside of what you feel. And one of those, Minecraft, Fortnite, not necessarily also impact. It's a whole other criteria. We're kind of thinking. Red says, I really enjoy my time at Sandrock. I also bought the deluxe bundle on top of the base game. For the swimsuit of obvious reasons. I was gonna say, Red, why can't we play a man in this game? Like, it's weird that we can see like that there's like this guy. There's also like a heavyset black guy. Why can't we play a human being, like a grown man, essentially? Why are we having to play children and then we get married as children? It's weird a little bit. I'm not sure if I love that, but I want to like let me play a human being, a grown as man. Or are these people just giants and we're technically a normal man? They're just giants. I don't know. Ghost Recon and Metal Gear are very different games. Oh, okay. I just feel like the third person with the I'm thinking about the mechanics that they introduced. Did they introduce like vastly different mechanics? Maybe. If they're considering games that have monetization, then remove Minecraft, Fortnite, Counter-Strike. Yeah, no, it should be monetized. Yeah, I don't feel like that's. We're not talking about monetization. We're talking about like again, it's in the last 20 years, what has had reached escape velocity, meaning popularity has been sufficient, and then also introduction of new ideas. In some ways, that could be industry defining. Monetary things is weird. I feel like it's not a fair thing to bring up. I feel like sometimes, unless it's like Genshin, which is like an extremely predatory monetary game. Maybe at the very like neat, like hot. Even then, though, I feel like, yeah. Well, Genshin doesn't appear on the list just because it Breath of the Wild. It has enough similarities to where it doesn't really seem like it introduced new mechanics. Oh. Wiggle says, a Metal Gear is more a cover-up stealth game. Ghost Recon is like a squad-based tactical shooter. Okay. I just don't know like the mechanics. I haven't played Metal Gear nor what is it called? Ghost Recon. I've just seen gameplay clips of it, and I can't see like. Again, when we're talking about Minecraft or something like that, it's because it's a game that came out, and no one had seen these gameplay mechanics really that much before, and it hit the mark essentially. People really liked it. Same thing with Fortnite. Same thing with all these games. They introduced mechanics that no one's seen before, or at least hasn't seen very much before, and then makes those mechanics work enough to where people enjoy them. Dragon's Dogma is very much more of a personal-based game, similar to I feel like that. Again, I'm not sure if it ever reached like the same popularity as Devil May Cry, which even then I don't know if I feel right about that one being there, because I feel like there's other games that came before Devil May Cry that feel like they didn't really introduce too many new things, but maybe Dragon's Dogma did everything different from everyone else. They didn't even get to complete the game. It's on the list to have. Yeah, maybe then. Ooh, it's tough. I don't know. I get it. Again, Dragon's Dogma to me feels like it's on the list. Again, it feels like it's on the list, but it feels like, again, maybe to your point, it wasn't finished. So if it was finished, then it would actually be able to do. But again, it's not that the game's not great. I should know if Dragon's Dogma had reached enough success, basically, to maybe. That makes me just more excited to play the new Dragon's Dogma game, frankly. Hopefully this is what their finished product will look like. Red says, I don't know, lol. It is odd. It is just their art style, and the builder supplies a young adult. I guess it makes sense. Yeah, that's fair. It doesn't need to be making all the sense in the world. Vlov says, I think the idea of My Time at Sandrock / Portia is that they're young adults, late teens, early 20s. Oh, okay. Is that your young adult? Okay, so these guys are like full-grown men, so they're like 30 or something, and I'm 20, and we just grow an extra 5 inches. I get it. It's also a cartoon world. We're talking madness. I didn't say monetization. I said pay to win. CS is hardly pay to. Yeah. Red says exactly what Fluff said. Yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of weird still. It doesn't make the most sense, but it's a game, so who cares? The fact that it's just a preference to me. I would like to be a tall, actual man rather than like a young, soft boy. But anyway, Love says, also, what's good? Heat says, what is this game called? This game is called My Time at Sandrock. Think Stardew Valley, but better. I don't know. It looks cool. It looks like a builder sim with like you build a town or you build a farming outpost type vibe. You can marry people. You can go on little quests. Like a real good chill game. Like hard to be stressed out of this. Age of Empires. Ooh. That's in that Civ genre and shit. I'm not sure. Would you put Civilization maybe on there? I have no goddamn understanding of any of those games. So I don't very much help here. It appeals to the younger audience, and I guess it just drives the idea of having more experienced residents to learn. That makes sense. I guess that kind of adds up. There weren't games of its kind that kind of before Devil May Cry. There wasn't. Okay, maybe I misunderstand. I feel like I would have seen something similar. I said before, original spin-off of Resident Evil before being the character action game. Now, okay, huh? Oh. Fluff says Devil May Cry is also inspired like the original God of War Bayonetta. Ooh, Bayonetta. Yeah, Bayonetta. It seems fair. Yeah. Near Automata. Near Automata feels. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it should be in that 9 category. Real good. Age of Empire, Total War Sim. I feel like I'm gonna. This is a really fun conversation because every single time I feel like I've forgotten something, and then I pop like again when I said Splinter Cell, I was like that feels like at least there's a conversation about it. You know what I mean? Like it's impossible. Dude, my back is so fucking sweaty because my temperatures keep going up and down. Anyways. For my experience of Porsche Discord devs, that there's a lot of women that play My Time at Porsche and My Time at Sandrock more so than men. That makes sense. I totally think that's fair. Wiggle says Civ for that. Fluff says I wouldn't call Warframe pay to win game, especially the competitive outside of Forgotten. game mode. Yeah. And most of the player base for my time at Sandrock seems to play as a female builder. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. This is a real, like, I'm working out and I'm not thinking about anything. I was thinking about, how do I put it? You know how people, how do I put it? You know how in, like, MMOs, people always choose women, and usually the response to why they choose to play as a female is because, I'm attracted to women, or I like the way women look more, so if I'm going to look at something for, like, 20 hours playing this MMO, I want to look at something that I actually enjoy the look of, right? Makes sense. But when you look at the statistics for a game like VR Chat, there's a lot of people that, despite you're not looking at your avatar in VR Chat. It's a first-person game, more or less. But a lot of people, like, if you look at the skewed metrics of, like, players who play female despite being XYZ, it's a very skewed metric. So I just thought it was a funny kind of observation about sexuality and how people are more open to experiencing that experience, so to speak. I was like, oh. But they made me think the same thing when it comes to the whole female, male, who do you choose type thing. Also, what do you call it? No, I'm not sure if you're still here. I was gonna say, I have finally found out how to get multiple levitation perks in Hellsweeper, so I can maybe do a levitation build, which should be sick. And most of the player base of Harvest Moon is on the list. It's inspired by Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, My Time at Sandrock, etc. Yeah, I feel like those both make sense. Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, yeah. And most of them appeal to female gamers. Makes sense? A former co-worker gave the exact reason as to why he was playing female character in Skyrim, because he wanted a pretty lady to look at. Yeah, that's what everyone always says. Everyone always says that. But then if you go to a context, a medium, I'm not sure Fallout 1. I feel like Fallout 3 I feel better about. I don't know why. Fallout 1, I not to say they didn't do a lot of cool things. Maybe Fallout 1 and Fallout 3 could be on there. Anyways. Yeah, but what was interesting to me about that is like, okay, well, what if you replace the context of what most people do, which is they want to look at something, a pretty lady, if they're going to play the game for so long. What if you can't look at the pretty lady, and then people still end up being like, yeah, but I'm gonna pick a woman. You know, even though you're not looking at that woman at all. Maybe when you're like playing VR Chat and you walk past a mirror, you can see it yourself maybe for a split second. But yeah, there's a lot of people out here who like to experiment with looking a variety of ways, I guess. Perhaps that's just the antidote to life a little bit, to understand that. You know, people want to look all kinds of ways. People want to be in a furry suit, you know, boom. People want to look like an anime girl, etc. People also want to be looking like a, I don't know, 10 foot tall black guy. I don't know, all these kinds of questions. And yeah, it's just to say that people are interested in the other people's experience, maybe? Something like that. Maybe it's just more interesting because otherwise you're just playing yourself. Well, then, I wonder what that says about me, because I whenever I play any video game, I make myself. I don't love myself that much. I just feel it's weird to do that, to play to like reach into another person's type of thing. Now, granted, I make myself look slightly better in those games, so yeah. The life sim games tend to be tailored to women. Yeah, I find it interesting though. I wonder, because I always wondered why is there such a, where do female gamers exist? Because I always find that frustrating a long time ago, when I remember hearing a lot of people criticize the gaming space and being like, it's just a boys club, it's just a bunch of men who play video games, why can't we have like female-led main protagonists, like Aloy and all these things? And then the question is always, there are video games with like female-led protagonists, they don't sell well. So like, if they're theoretically the same player base as women who are in the gaming space, shouldn't they also like buy the game if it's interesting to them, which is a female lead, etc.? But oftentimes it's not. The game doesn't succeed. So to me, it's because it's usually like a fucking FPS shooter or something like that. But in this context, it makes sense of like, oh, maybe men like violent FPS shooters, etc. Sometimes some men maybe is the wrong word, but those type of players tend to skew maybe men, and then females tend to like these lesser stressful kind of builder games, which makes sense. People like different things, it turns out. I asked, Red says, I got asked often why I play female characters in games, and that was what Fluff said, primarily reason. I'm attracted to women, and yes, it makes sense to me, but I find it's interesting that when you look at the metrics for all these other games, the fact that like people still choose to play women, people still choose to play a variety of different like avatars, despite the fact that they'll never see them. They see themselves for like 0.1% of time when you walk past a mirror, you know. Sims, Sim City. Oh yeah, Sim. I forgot what Sims. Yeah, Sims is interesting. We're both a big influential game. Yeah, that's tough. Now we're getting to territory where I have no baseline at all for like knowing what to do. Like knowing what to. Yeah. I played male characters as I'm personally more comfortable and capable of influencing myself or my mindset into the character, unless in an RPG I totally agree. Like in an RPG it's weird. That's very strange to me. In an RPG setting where like you're gonna be speaking through your own mental perspective, I guess. And if people play a woman, it's not weird, I should say. To me, I want to embed myself and immerse myself to where like it sounds cringe, but like I'm in there. I'm making these choices. I choose to save you, even though it's cringe. It's true. Lone says, the second the notion most first-person game, if I play a woman, I can look down and see that. Okay, well there's that. Maybe that's also why. I also do think there's maybe an argument in VR chat of like the reason why people get after it is because of like that of like you look at yourself in a mirror and you're like, look at these things. And I'm like, yeah, man, but you don't. What is going on? Although I remember I was watching a podcast and it was hilarious. Both these two people who were like hosting this podcast got fucking blitzkrieg. Just like they had weed, they had a ton of alcohol, and they're like really good friends. And they're like for a split moment, they just had like a real dude conversation where you're like talking, like you completely trust this person. You're both not going to judge each other, and you're just talking about like random shit. And they both talked about like how if they were a woman, they'd be like, the first thing I'd do is see what it feels like to do X, Y, and Z. And I might even go and find a dude to see what that feels like too. And I was like, that's a really honest conversation I was not expecting to hear from these two co-hosts. But it was really funny to see. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, I mean, I'm not judging or I don't know. What does it feel like for them? It seems like it's a building crescendo. You know what I mean? Not like a dude who's like, done immediately. But nevertheless, I'm sick. But I have no attachment to the main character I play. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. To me, I feel like, again, I play those games as if it's an extension of myself, not as this is a character in this world that I am seeing. Like this, I'm just witnessing a story. For me, I'm witnessing my story, which is maybe cringe again. It's just how I perceive those types of games. But I feel like that probably is the differentiating factor. The fact that like, oh no, this, I'm just seeing this story play out. Maybe that's also how people feel when they play games like Fable. And they play Evil, because I really find it difficult. Like I feel like I think Fluff has the same problem as me. Maybe that's why we're both the same type of person. That when I play a video game, I try to play it as if that's me. Like I'm immersing myself. That's my choice, not what maybe Red feels, which is this is a character's choice, and I'm just watching the story happen. It's not I'm watching my story happen, etc. Because I find it really difficult to be evil in video games. It makes me feel genuinely bad. But it's not like when you kill someone in a video game, I don't feel bad. So it's like it's weird that where you draw the line. Xenoverse, there really isn't anything else like it. Oh, really? The Xenoverse. I feel like I'm not remembering what that is. I feel like I've heard about that game before. Shit. Oh, sorry, Wiggles. I'm letting you down. I don't know what that is. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. I feel like I know it. This is not what I mean. What did Fluff say? Well, not in that way. But honestly, I have no attraction to male characters I play. That is also the other reason, Fluff, I do not want to insert myself into a character I play. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. Okay, good. That'd be back to exactly what I was thinking. Same way, because for Red, it's like, no, I'm watching my super schmexy female character get down and do all these things, but I'm not doing it. Whereas me, I'm like, I'm making these choices. Well, not in that way, Red. You want to insert by other means. That is not what I meant, Fluff. Says, I mean, I also don't like to customize characters to look like how I look. Oh, you don't like? Oh, I like that. I think it's, yeah, again, excuse me, I try to ground myself as much as I possibly can. It sounds, again, it's probably lame. Because I also play the character that's like, tries to be good. Maybe it's because my deep desire to want to be good, despite I know sometimes circumstance in life can't allow that sometimes, you know? That includes escape myself, so yes, I prefer playing someone else. Ooh, yeah, okay, that makes sense too, for far as escapism goes. But I have much easier time making choices when there is such, if I'm basing it off of how I choose, unless I define. Yeah, I can't even think about it, man. I feel like I immediately lose interest. Maybe I'm just a real selfish, conceited person, but like the minute that I start thinking, what would this character I'm playing do? I get disconnected so hard. Like I feel like, who the fuck is he? why am I smitten? And it's funny because I tell myself stories in my head constantly, but like literal stories, like characters, brothers, moments that happen. You know, as soon as I see an anime or a manga or anything like that, I immediately take like the core aspect that I think is fun and an interesting concept, and I plug it into the stories in my head. So it's not like I can't do that with other things. It's just weird that it's only this. That I have that weird, like, I don't know. Then I try to match what they choose, like proper roleplay. Geralt, yeah. Fair, I suppose I do the same, Fluff. Oh, I'm losing things. Play as other characters, but still make choices based on how I would make them. Yeah, I'm in the other camp then. I'm you and Fluff may be in that thing. I'm in the like it's me. It's cringe, but it's me. Even if I choose is the right thing, doesn't make it accurate to the character I'm playing, then I will fully customize. Yeah, that seems crazy to me. That's wild. I can't even put myself in the headspace of like, it's not me choosing, it's them. I can just subconsciously, like, I'm moving you left to right, and I'm attacking. Your actions are my actions. Like yeah. So. Was a short series. Wait, there's less games that are like that. However, Fluff says even if the choice, the right thing. Oh, I see. If you can fully get the thing, there are less games are like that. However, yeah, less games where we can actually define a character and that actually matters. Was a short series of videos I watched of a guy playing through Witcher 2 and 3 based on. Garrett would. Yeah, I think I've seen the same fucking thing. We've seen the same Let's Play. It's so fucking weird. It was this guy. I remember watching the same thing. I was like, I'm not fucking playing Witcher 2. It's like $1 million game. But I watched a playthrough of it. I didn't get through the whole thing. But yeah, the guy basically always brought up the fact that like Geralt would take coin. Like he would be he's not an idiot to that's like I'm gonna do the right thing and not take coin. He's like, no, I'm gonna take coin. I'm gonna do the right thing if it makes sense. And then move on. But it made me frustrated because I wanted to see someone who was kind and virtuous. Like I wanted to see I want to see a different version of Geralt, I guess. That's just crazy how I think we've seen the exact same thing. I remember he used to always do the choices where he got coin, and I was like, fuck, it's just like a fucking orphan that you're taking money from. I'm like, ah. Honestly, even with defined characters like Geralt, I still make choices based on my views, not the game. Yeah, okay. So even if there was a choice that the majority of the player would make, it doesn't make sense for Geralt to do. Yeah. Oh, my chat's getting away from me for a fully customized character. I extend. What was the last game though where you could really do that besides Witcher? I feel like maybe I don't feel like Starfield would necessarily be that way because I feel like Starfield does everything in its power to not let you build a character that maybe not. You have a background, maybe. As an overweight. Balding dude is not something I view, but capable of the amazing feats my game character can do. Yeah, but that's the thing that's amazing though. Like you can you can, again, like, to me, I've always resented the fact that I have the most, like, I'm not sure if it's just my hair color and all that stuff, but I have dark as fuck eyes. I have what my parents always call olive eyes, and not like olive as in like, it's like olive is there's a black olive. My eyes are like pitch black, essentially. It's like I have two giant irises, and I have like really dark features. So whenever I play a video game, I always am like, you know what? I'm gonna get a little crazy. And then I put on, I always give my character like white or silver eyes. I always think that's, like, to me, the prettiest eyes ever, silver or gray eyes. So I always do that. I also like werewolves and shit, so I think, yeah, I think it's cool. But yeah. Also, what is this? Nub says, finally, GRINN exists in my reality again. What? What? What's going on? What? For my custom character, I extend my personality rather than physique. Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. I guess to me the big difference is when I play a video game like an RPG, I try to immerse myself in, like, I am making these choices. I am the character. I would not do something in the game that I otherwise wouldn't hopefully do in real life. Although I kind of take, I'm not very. Yeah, I go out of my way. Like, and you guys even see this when we were playing Starfield. Like, I'll do the right thing because I think it makes sense to, try to aim for doing the right thing. But so often I'll be like, doesn't make any sense. Like, it's like a weird convoluted thing of being like a nihilist while simultaneously wanting to be good, basically. Because when the person's like, and maybe I'm just used to playing like Fable, which is pretty good about, in some ways, being balanced when it comes to being good or being bad. Like, there's a value proposition, but in all these games, especially in like The Witcher and so many games, there's so rarely like any reward for being good at all. And maybe that's an antidote to life to some extent. I don't know if you want to be really out there and fucking depressing. But, yeah, I don't know. To me, like, I find it's one of the things that's frustrating about a lot of these games. Is like, I'm going to do the right thing because to me, it makes sense. But at the same time, I get nothing for doing this. Like, there's no, you don't help, you don't remember this. I can't wait until we can play an MMO where maybe, I feel like a lot of that could also be fixed by, like, an idea that Oblivion had a long time ago, which is basically, you could make a person like you. Like, so by taking a loss on getting payment for a quest or whatever, your overall notoriety would improve, because you're just absurdly helpful and virtuous. That basically people would innately like you. Therefore, you would have access to, like, a variety of things, maybe companionship, like companions that would like you more. Maybe you would be able to get like a free stay at an inn, things like that. But so rarely do games do that. It's usually like, no. The one thing I didn't dislike about Fable, though, Fable's algorithm was basically, if you were good, you got long-term success or long-term value, but if you were evil, you got short-term value. So you got like a handful of coins if you robbed an orphan. Fucking horrible, but yeah. But if you basically let that orphan go, he would go off and like start a store, and he would like start selling you trinkets that were really rare in the game, and he would give you a discount for them. That kind of shit. That to me, I'm like, that's kind of cool. Long-term game, long-term gain. I still think I said the word right. For fully customized characters, I extended my personality, right? I mean, sure, sometimes make my character ideal. So yeah, I think that's probably like the way I look at it. It's like you try to make my ideal self physically, while simultaneously immersing myself as being them, which is kind of strange. There's a series on Netflix called Altered Carbon, which plays with this idea in the future that we could probably basically like take out our consciousness and put it into another body. That's weird, man. I don't know about that. Like, as a person, I thought about that beforehand because I was born with like kind of mangled hands. I've always wondered if I was given the opportunity in this impossible future, where I could get like normal hands, would I take it? And there's a part of me that's like very nostalgic about these things that are imperfect but have gotten me this far in life. Would I change that? Would I do that? The only thing that gets me to think I might do it is just that it is debilitating. Like, it is not something that is just like, it's not like having black eyes, basically it's something that is like I can't do kettlebell movements because my grip can barely hang on to it, or my grip can't even create a seal around the handle of the kettlebell, things like that. It's like a little bit of like a hold you back genuinely. Oh, I'm losing my chat, forgive me. There we go. I mean, sure, by making my character my ideal. Fluff says, but I'm also a furry, so that there's the disconnect I need to maintain. The acknowledge how far the fantasy goes over with a virgin. Well, that what do you call it, Fluff? If you were given, okay, guys, here we go. On this building, I'm sorry, I'm talking so much. There's so much comments I gotta read. Give me a second. Finding GRINN exists in reality. Oh, the telekinesis. I can't wait to show it to you, Nub. I might even make a whole video or a whole goddamn stream titled, "Hey, Nub, watch this damn stream." I'm sure you'll miss it. Anyways, this is a fun thought experiment, ladies and gentlemen, based on that whole thing of if we could ever have a future where somehow people could genetically splice together a human being or a human adjacent person. What would you first of all, would you do that? Would you like possess this other body, throwing away your old body? And let's say for Fluff, because Fluff is a fucking honorable furry, etc. Boom, furry. We have a furry-esque body type thing, anthropomorphic wolf, we'll say. Then you also have orc. Then you also have goblin. Then you also have elf. Kind of cheating. Elves seem like they're always beautiful. Anyways, elf. What would you, first of all, would you do it? Would you plug into a different body? Secondly, what would be the body that you plug into? And why? For me, I don't know, man. I feel like if there was an Oni, I don't know. Depends. What is it? How feminine does it look? Does it still? I don't know what's going on. All right, we gotta nail down these criteria. It's hard. What if you were given the option between hobgoblin, furry werewolf thing, but these are like skin suits that you have to use, or you have to choose one of them, and fairy, tiny fairy this size. Those are your options. I just kind of feel like they may not be the people's first choice, so to speak. Some people's first choice. Red says, I imagine people that play themselves in games actually like themselves rather than people like me. Don't say that, Red. You're a fucking wonderful person. I like you plenty, and you should like yourself a fair bit too. Lone says, for me, I find middle ground. Like I play a female character, I can insert myself other ways, like from the clothes they wear, style choices from choices in the game. Normally pick with what I do. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's tough though. I wonder, because I feel like again, people have a different immersion thing. Like what they want to dissolve into this world is different, which is cool. It's like really interesting the way people approach things. Fluff says, like I am not big brown dragon man in Baldur's. Also, no. Fluff says, like I'm a big brown dragon man in Baldur's Gate 3. Nor would I be a half air element if they ever were available. But those would suit my my preference to character choice, even just being ooh. I really wanted to hear what you guys think about that whole like if you could basically transfer your consciousness into another being, what would be, first of all, would you? Second of all, what would that being be? Would it be a werewolf thing for Fluff? Would it be a goblin? Dude, I don't know why. I've seen some cool ass manga that showed like a badass version of a hobgoblin, like a fucking, it was like a companion to the main character, looking awesome, like looking rad. Like goblins get a bad rap, okay, because rapey nonsense, but hobgoblins looking fire as fuck sometimes. Especially when they're fully fucking formed. Then I would do nothing. Lone says, then I would do another playthrough of What If I Was Evil Douchebag. That's so weird to me. I thought that's where we have a massive disconnect. I feel like I can't do that. I'm a little jealous. Slay all the goblins. By the way, talk about slaying all the goblins. Apparently Goblin Slayer has started up again, and it's fire, which I cannot wait to watch. I'm sure I'll get to it 5 years from now, but still. Then I was do another playthrough. Red says, I guess I should say I like myself personal wiles, but my physical wiles. Yeah, but the physical stuff can, I think, be improved. But I understand that it feels oftentimes like it's one of the things that's the least that you can improve upon, which is shitty. Did I loop this? I did. I guess I should think that. Fluff says, I likely hit the algorithm and got recommended a majority of folks. Oh, to a majority of folks? I'm I'm the same, Red. With the time at Sandrock Life, I've found a way to have visual representation of my personality. Ooh, neat. Fluff says, I don't have heterochromia, but I tend to pick that given the... yeah, I know a lot of people like the double eye thing. Holy shit, Rachel, it's been a millennia. Rachel says, my booty is here, and ads? That's Twitch. You can also watch on YouTube, in which there are no ads. There maybe be a pop-up that pops up, which is such a fucking better idea, by the way. It's so annoying that Twitch is like, let's do an advertisement that's literally like right before you can get in the video, instead of like a little pop-up that pops up silently that you can just close. Yeah, I talked a lot Rachel just now. I don't have Fluff says, and otherwise I tend to make the character sandy, dirty, blonde, or like, yeah, well that's a lot. I get that too. Again, we're probably in the same boat. I got like just very lame hair. I look like yeah. I really like emerald green eyes. Emerald green eyes are beautiful too. I agree with that. At least on girls, yes. Look, emerald green eyes go with like an Irish type vibe too. You know, like red hair, things like that. Heterochromia, and look, some guys don't get heterochromia. Yeah, I've said the heterochromia in video games looks beautiful because it's like beautiful cyan blue eye with a beautiful white silver eye that complements it because it's both light colors. And then in like real life, it's like one of your eyes looks like muddy, essentially. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I have stale blue eyes. Blue eyes are a fucking amazing get. So if I don't have heterochromia, I tend to do more of this saturated blue. Oh, I see. So you want more of like a brighter ass blue. That makes sense a little bit. I still feel like blue eyes would be a fucking peak. Alright, I gotta catch up. Where is it? Red says, I also make my character have animal/cat ears with a variety of pupils. Yeah, Genshin got me to put on to the whole like cool, having unique pupils can be cool, although I feel like a lot of games don't let you have really cool pupils. It's all kind of like very mid. Like, looks weird. You know what I mean? Looks like you're like, what is that? What is going? Oh, it's a star. Okay, it's odd. You know. Rachel says, I got extremely bored. Oh, and started a fresh server of Star Rail, spending any jade and got up and in any pulls. Are you having fun, Rachel? Are you getting them pulls? Are you getting good characters? I seen a trailer for ZZZ this morning, which I was surprised by. That game is still happening, hopefully. And I tend ancient Egypt, Nordic, Native American theme. Ooh, I love the Native American theme, comrade. So I'll incorporate one of those. Achieve the right look. Nice. Fluff says, I'll be honest, Grin. You're one of the few, if not the only person I know with such dark/black eyes. I know it's not cool, but thank you. It's a very sweet thing to say. I appreciate the sentiment, but I find it's extremely not cool. I had this problem where I needed to fucking I slashed my eyebrow because it looks fucking like just nothing. There's no contrast, no like different shit. It's just black, and tan skin. But I appreciate the sentiment, very sweet. But I understand the desire to want something more yeah, just something to stand out a little bit. Just something to offset the kind of, how do I put it, the palette, I guess. Just the two colors, tan skin, dark ass hair. I'll be honest, despite being furry, I often don't pick the token furry race in games, as it tends to not be what I personally would be. Speaking of ZZZ though, Fluff, I just seen the character on ZZZ, and man, the ZZZ character that's like a furry dude, like a wolf man, it is the most furry character I've ever seen in any game ever. Like, it's not even close. Like, he looks so on point to, this is straight it's a furry thing. Rachel, I will do one of these. I will do a high five. I feel so deathly sick. I will not do the status points just for my own well-being. But I love you and I appreciate the points being spent. Ugh. Did I catch up to my question yet where I asked you guys what you would choose? Well, first of all, if you would, basically throw away your mortal coil, your body, for a different body. And also, what would the body be? In a fantasy setting, because we got to make it interesting. Otherwise, you just be like, I'd put myself in a beautiful human. And I'm like, all right, chill out. That's not what I meant. But I understand the desired one. So the shadow race option. I'll be honest, says Fluff. Despite, I read that. Lone says, also, weird gaming story. I heard this Randy Orton from WWE paid some 1K to level up in Elden Ring. What the fuck? Did he just hire a person just to grind? That's hilarious. Randy Orton. It's a very interesting story. That's weird. Although I always wondered about that. If you're a very busy person, you already have a secretary or something like that, and she's not doing anything, you're like, you just grind this game for me? And you're like, sure, okay. I'm just an extra pair of hands, so sure. But of the choice, I'd go with werewolf. Okay. Oh, you'd go with werewolf as well, Red. I didn't know that. Oh, I don't know, man. It's tough. I feel like if you lived in a modern world and you were a pixie, is there magic that I can become big again, or no? Because if I'm just a fucking tiny thing the whole time, then I can't procreate. So we're kind of fucked in that regard. But if I can get bigger, then theoretically you could live off an apple for a millennia. It was that whole, I think it was a Netflix show, maybe it was an HBO show or movie, where people couldn't afford housing, so then they just shrunk them down and made tiny houses for them. It's weird. Especially if the werewolf looked like the Underworld movie. Ooh, that's a fucking, ooh, yeah, I was more thinking about the ZZZ Wolfman who's in there, who looks more like furry than werewolf. It's tough. Werewolf to me is, you guys are psychotic. When I said werewolf, I meant furry thing. If you look at ZZZ, that's what I mean. Werewolf, your fucking hands are unusable. Your back and posture are all fucked. You're basically, you've left humanity. You've left humanity. All there is dog. Basically. We're talking about the fucking underworld ones. And we're not talking about transformation. You're that. That's wild to me. Maybe you thought you could transform back and forth. Then maybe. Yeah, because in that case, werewolf would just be you just have an extra feature as a human. I mean, you have to stay in the dog form. What was the other one I said? Yeah, I don't know why. Oni to me is a sweet spot. You know what I mean? You get some cool powers, strength maybe, maybe a horn, kind of cute, whatever. But otherwise, you just have you're just a normal human. You know what I mean? Elf is tough because the whole infinite life is a very good sell. But I don't know. I feel like Oni is just the better version of Elf though. But you have a horn. Oh god. I think they still fucking live for a crazy long time, and they also have absurd strength. I'm getting where the heck is the things? Red says, especially if those werewolf looks like the ones from Underworld. I've seen some nice depiction of goblins. Fluff says, if we were to pick a non-human D&D race, there's quite a few I'd honestly pick. Don't you do this one where it's a fucking morphing one that can change into anything. And many aren't furries, but would still fill out the anthropomorph. Yeah, I forgot. There's also other things like lizard people. Like turtle or various of lizard folk, that's what I thought. I feel like we've talked about this before, that's why I knew I brought that whole thing up about lizards. I feel like we talked about them. But of one of the D&D races, I'd find the foremost pick of air Genesis Celiphs? Got it. I don't know what any of that is, but I assume it's various different types of races. Which they're just elemental. Oh, right, yeah, elemental people, right. Red says, I'd probably pick Tinker. What? Tiefling? Tiefling. I feel like I know that. That's like a tiny. It's like a. Is that a tiny elf? Is that right? I don't know what that is. I think that's what it is. Tiefling. I feel like I should know that. But Air Genesis is my natural lighting. I'm trying to catch up with chat, guys. That's why I'm speed running a little bit. I'm getting late. Fluff says it's getting late, and sadly I need to. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, Fluff. It's amazing always talking to you. Feels super sweet. Always love talking to you. Yeah, thank you for keeping me company when I'm sick. Thank you for also contributing to the kind of thought I was having. I'm not sure if Wiggles is still here, but thank you, Wiggles, also for contributing so much to the kind of fun debate in my head, at least, of like what is the true. If you were to say like how good a really like a 9, a 10 out of, not a 10 out of 10 game, but a 9 out of 10 game is, if you were to say like how good a 9 out of 10 game is, being like any game that's got Game of the Year that's super good, worth playing, but then 10 out of 10s are like, looking back, you can really appreciate how much they did and how impactful they were. It's a fun conversation. I appreciate you all keep contributing so much to it. Fluff says blue or indigo is my favorite eye color. I like cyan, bright ass blue or silver, but yeah, or white. It's funny because I literally have dark eyes, so it's like it's the opposite. It's the inverse of that. So I'm very happy with some of the forms of blue. Yeah. Fluff says, anyways, fun chat. Yeah, see y'all. Goodbye, Fluff. Fluff says, goth with specifically less effort. Okay. Oh, is that what a tiefling is? I don't know what that was. What does that refer to? Fluff says, and yeah, I love the look of lichens and the big bear amongst the characters. I look forward to it. But you don't feel like it'd be such a fucking hard existence? Bears don't have opposable thumbs. You know, I feel like it would be a tough life. Like, I just picked the closest thing to human that isn't human, that is an Oni. Lone says, Grin, can we check out some memes? I feel like we might just wind down. I feel like shit, Lone. Also, yeah, we'll definitely. What time is it? I think we're good. Yeah, we're at 55. We did it, guys. I can't even imagine. I had some moments there, especially at the beginning. I was in trouble. I was feeling like I was gonna vomit. I was feeling like I was getting real hot, and my temperature kept jumping around. Tomorrow we will hang out and look at some memes. In fact, probably should have done that whilst we were talking about video games. It could have been a nice little break, a little breath, essentially. But yes, also Rachel says, sorry, not Rachel, Richie. Sorry, Richie. Richie says, question, Richie, I apologize, Richie. I feel like I'm always used to saying Rachel. Anyway, Nub says, I wouldn't choose. You wouldn't? Oh, you wouldn't? That's interesting, Nub. It's tough. So, if you guys don't know, basically, I think that's what you're referring to. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, we were talking about basically if you had the ability to like unplug your consciousness from this body and put it into another body, and it was out of the three that I offered, or even anything, would you? But Nub says he wouldn't. That's interesting. I kind of get it. Like, part of me feels weird about it. Like, I feel like you're not like the body that has gotten you to this point, that's suffered with you, that's been there with you. It just kind of getting thrown away. Feels shitty. I'd rather take like a serum that morphs my body, that is now my body, into that other thing, which feels less like abandoning who you are, or a part of who you are. Hellboy race would be dope as hell to get, just like a giant thick ass arm. Fluff says smoke pellets. Lone says the reason he paid because he wanted to deal with the bullshit in the. Oh, I see. So he did. Wait. So what? I wonder what he did. To level up, or did he get them to like beat bosses for him? So if he got them to beat the bosses for him, that's kind of shitty. But if he didn't want to just grind souls for a good bit, I kind of get it. That doesn't feel that bad. Underworld movie werewolves. It's funny, Red. We call I as much as you like the lichens from Underworld. I fucking love the hybrid. The hybrid to me looks fucking rad. It's probably one of my favorite like versions of monsters I've ever seen in movies, which is the Underworld 2. No, it's Underworld 1. Underworld 1, where he basically is the mutation of both, and he just looks rad. Yeah, he's also, it's so, the way they did that movie is so fun, especially the first one, where he's like crawling on the ceiling, and it looks so terrifying as he's like fucking morphing into this thing. He's like walking up the wall. The reason he paid... Red says, in that case, then why not a vampire werewolf hire? Yeah, that to me makes more sense. That you could, that person can at least function. You know what I mean? But if we're going by the back and forth move, hypothetically, what if you go back and forth then, Red? Would you still choose Lycan? Or would you be like, nah, fuck that, I'm choosing the one that's both. It's like both of them. Although it doesn't have the same appeal visually, so I wonder if that would change your thing. Red says, tieflings are devil race, often red skin, horns, tail, claws. Oh, that sounds sick. Oh, like Hellboy. Okay, yeah. Maybe then. That was like close to Oni for me. Depends on what the buffs they get. I might be there with you. Love says, turning back in from my phone, I was referring to ZZZ furry character. For, what was that referring to though? What was that referring to when you said the less goth thing? What was that referring to? Wolf, Butler, Lycan, and the construct bear, Ben, I think. Oh, you really? So you prefer the bear rather than the fucking in ZZZ the werewolf, the wolf man? That's interesting. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, we streamed today, and we probably shouldn't have, because I'm sick. Oh man, it's one of the jokes that goes on in my family, but the men in our family tend to be, hopefully this is correct, but tend to be very you deal with it. You move forward, you keep moving forward. You figure it out, you keep moving forward. But when I get sick, I become a child. I become a baby who's like, Mama, I'm hurt. Please care for me. I become a total baby. I just fucking hate it. It's also why I'm so on my fucking checks and balances about taking the right vitamins. And I've been so lucky, and also I've been doing a good job about taking the right vitamins, and that's been how I've been sick in 4 years. The reason why is because I take a handful of these specific vitamins. I know what they do, and it's worked thus far. And I'm talking about everyone around me has been getting sick constantly, and I've been always able to basically be fine. But this last time, man, I ended up yesterday. I felt a little under the weather, not great, and then I ended up working out still. I thought I'd do just enough, but then I did VR, and that was just enough to also push me over the edge. And then I went to bed, and my immune system must have been shot. And then I was like, well, fuck. And the only way I was able to survive is because I took another handful of those pills, those vitamins, that to me I feel just got me okay. But I don't know, man. I'm happy we did the stream. I deeply despise, especially when we met such wonderful people like Wiggles. He's been nothing but sweets these last couple times he's been here. I'm sure he left because it's been a long stream. But well, yeah, when I see new people, and this week has been amazing for people popping in and saying hi. When you're having a good week, the last thing I want to do is be I'm not gonna show up. I want to make sure I pop in and say hi, because this is one of my favorite streams ever, especially this one, where we can just shoot the shit and talk. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna go probably eat, even though I don't really have much of an appetite. But yeah, so I appreciate so deeply everyone saying so many kind well wishes about feel better and things like that. Very much appreciate it. Oh, by the way, there's a video if you want to see some VR stuff. If you don't, then don't watch it. There's a video on the... in fact, actually, I wanted to ask Lone this, because Lone tends to be extremely sweet and watches a lot of the videos I make. I wanted to ask Lone, was there anything that you didn't like about the last video I uploaded? And if you haven't watched it yet, that's fine. But yeah, I wanted to know if there was anything... I remember I deeply appreciated... one of those times when basically I asked you guys about what do you think I should do? If you guys could not criticize, if there was anything that was maybe off about my video, could you tell me? And then you and Fluff both said, it might be just a little long. And I was like, oh, okay, that's perfect. So then I looked at my analytics and it verified that same thing. So then I realized I needed to start making leaner videos, which was really extremely helpful. So I was wondering, I was wondering what you thought about the last Crossfire video, because it was moments I tried to do something, but I feel like the segment where it's so tough, man, because like the segment that I made in this video that I just uploaded, the intro I thought was fun and like it did justice to what I wanted, but then there was a moment where there was so much fun gameplay on screen that like I really enjoyed the weird like callback to Modern Warfare, the military mission where you're in the snowy area with like a sonar assault rifle, right? If you guys know that mission, it reminded me so much of that, and I thought the gameplay was so fun and different, just because I've never seen VR in like a very snowy biome. You haven't watched it? Okay, it's totally fine. But yeah, I was wondering if it was that section was too long. Even though like it's tough though, because I always go back and forth in my head. I'm like, I know it needs to be shorter, but simultaneously I also feel like I don't know. I don't want to throw it away because it's such a fun like little thing, I think. But then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, people can kind of get bored probably. And maybe I only find this chunk that interesting, you know. Sorry, haven't watched it yet. Fluff says latest VR video. Well, let me see. Felt. I can't see what the rest of the comment is. Why can't I? This damn YouTube thing drives me goddamn nuts. It makes it so that I can't read. Like there's this. There it is. There's a fucking heart emoji that basically gets in the way and I can't read. The latest VR video felt paced well. Okay, good. It did. Okay, good. I wasn't sure. That's very nice to hear. Fluff, get some sleep. Get some sleep. Appreciate you being here, though, so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm off to go rest and eat. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. I have a ton of VR videos and just videos in general ready to upload. So hopefully you're excited for some of those. A lot of it is, I don't want to give away the trend, but you already know the trend that we're doing on the channel. It's a kind of a test while simultaneously being a bunch of shit. Anyways, hopefully I can see you guys again on Thursday. Hopefully I'll be better by then. I appreciate everyone for the kind wishes, and I always cherish hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for your time. Hope I can see you again, and goodbye, my friends. Also, thank you for putting out with me looking like a mess, because I normally try to make myself look presentable. I did have energy today. Anyways, bye.